Hello everyone, it's Mesmi, and today I'm going to talk about a very serious topic. Today's a story time about a stalking incident I had when I was 19 years old and I was here studying abroad. So let's start our video. As I mentioned earlier, when I was 19, I came to Korea to study abroad and I was very excited and really innocent-minded. So when I was doing my exchange program, I was also signed up to be kind of like an English tutor or an English conversation person that the university students could go to and practice their English with. So I would be hanging out at the Global Lounge and they would come, sign up, and they would choose a foreign student and they just kind of sign up and they would just sit and we'd talk for about an hour. So it was really fun. After I kind of settled in, I remember going to the GS25 convenience store one day, and I remember that I couldn't communicate with the lady at the counter because of the language barrier, but somehow we were able to understand each other with like hand gestures. So I remember paying for my things and this guy behind me was laughing. So I turned around and I told him, like, is there a problem? And he's like, oh, I just think that it's so cute that you guys can communicate with hand gestures. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he ended up introducing himself, I introduced myself, and we went our separate ways. After that, I started running into him so many times when I was out with my friends. And we'd have small talk like, oh, how are you? Okay, awesome, bye. And then one day he signed up for me to have an English conversation with me. And I remember that he was very aggressive with his words, and it kind of made me uncomfortable. So I just kind of let it go, but I took some caution. A few weeks after that, I get a call from the security guy and he's telling me, you have a visitor. So I go downstairs kind of like, okay, what the heck is going on? And I see that guy standing there. If you are familiar with how the dormitory works here in Korea, you need an ID to get in, and he did not live in the dormitory. So somehow he convinced the security guard to let him in. So I was like, hi. And he was holding this bag like this, and he said, I remember that you mentioned during our English conversation that you like pancakes. I couldn't find any pancakes, so I bought you a bread from every single bakery in this town. And it kind of caught me off guard and it freaked me out a little, but I sat down and I attempted to eat the bread, but I was so nervous that I just couldn't swallow it. So after that, the time passed and he kept showing up again to my work very often. This time he signed up with a friend of mine because I was talking to somebody else, and I knew that he was really aggressive with his words, so I was a little bit worried for my friend. He ended up making her cry. I don't know what he said to her. Nobody told me what exactly happened, but when I saw that happen, I knew that, so there's something wrong. So I went to the management and I said, hey, if this guy comes back, can you please assign him to somebody else? I don't want to deal with him. This guy makes me uncomfortable. Okay, cool. I communicated that. I don't know if my friend did communicate to the management that she was uncomfortable. So I remember, I think the next day I asked him like, hey, what's going on? Why did she cry? Why did you make her cry? And he's like, oh, please don't ask me. We said that we weren't going to talk about it. And I was like, okay, fine. You know what? That's fine. That's your thing. I respect that. Cool. So because the friend I had, I guess she thought that he was my friend or something, because we would keep running into him and we'd have like a small talk. She assumed he was my friend, so the days went by, he kept coming back. They didn't let him sign up with me. But I have no idea what happened, but somehow I ended up getting in trouble. So I get called to the office and I'm being told, hey, so your friend has been bothering this girl. And so I ended up getting scolded. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, this guy is the one coming over here all the time, circling like a shark. Like, I don't know this guy. I've seen him around and we'll have small talk, but he's not my friend. So they warned him not to come to our job again. But like, from whenever I was out with friends, like, I would see him from the corner of my eye, like standing like not too far away, and he'd just pop out of nowhere. So yeah, my friend had told him that he was my friend, so I ended up getting in trouble. all my friends turned their back on me, and there was one specific girl who I was really good friends with, and when you come to Korea together, you'd assume that the person you're close to is going to have your back. But then she said, I don't like to choose sides. And yeah, so thank you for that. Anyway, so everybody turned their back on me thinking that he was my friend and it was all my fault. I never got a chance to explain to, my American friend what was really going on, or even tell her that I was not involved in this. So she actually lived next door to me in the dorms and never talked to me. Nobody talked to me. None of the Americans talked to me, which is quite sad. So I would go to Seoul and go traveling alone. But then one day I remember leaving, leaving my job, and I was going to walk to my dorm. So you have to take an elevator up from the office, and then you go outside and you walk about maybe 100 feet to the dormitory building. I asked a Korean male friend to walk with me and then just kind of leave me there at the elevator. So he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I thought I was fine. So he starts walking this way and he leaves. And I'm walking and I hear someone behind me like, Jasmine, Jasmine, Jasmine. And I recognize a voice. And I was so terrified, I just started walking really fast. Didn't even turn around, got into my dorm. And yeah, that was it. So the sad part was that now I had a bad reputation for something that I didn't do, and I had no friends, so it was a very tough semester. I was going through a lot. And then a few months later, after I was back in the States, I actually got some really creepy messages from this guy who had found me on Facebook, and he was saying that it's really creepy, dirty stuff, and obviously I blocked him. There's some other one which is a little bit more serious, which I don't want to talk about right now. Maybe in the future. But yeah, I just wanted to share this story with you. I was very scared. Just be careful. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope that this story time helped you understand that you should be careful. And I also want to remind you that whatever happens, don't let it affect your life. Especially for me, whenever I lost all my friends that semester, don't let it affect you. Just keep your head up and just do things yourself. Like, just do it. I mean, I ended up doing everything myself and I had an amazing time. So just keep that in mind. I hope to see you all soon and take care. Bye.